So did I take off my shirt just for this video? Yes. If I'm gonna cry, let me cry in a fucking Bentley. I've always trusted myself to get myself out of sticky situations, so why wouldn't I trust myself right now? I show up to the gym every day and I keep doing this thing, then I will look like that? I don't want to survive anymore, I want to kill. Stop talking and put in more action. That's the most important part. That's how I would drastically change my life in the fastest way possible. So before the guy goes and kills himself, YouTube. What's going on? Madredrew back with another video, and you guys already know the drill. Before I get into the topic, like, comment, and subscribe. And I have a link in the description where we can set up a consultation call where we talk all things fitness, we talk all things mindset, we talk all things self-development in general. So if that's something you guys are interested in, you guys need help with something along the lines of what I just said, then click the link and we can get started to see if you even apply for this, right? My social is right here. It is the same social for all my social media, so make sure you guys follow that as well. With that being said, we got another video today, guys, and I'm on my way to the gym. It is, the background's a little different scenery. We're also at a different angle right now, but I'm headed to the gym right now. So did I take off my shirt just for this video? Yes, I did. And am I going to put it back on when I get to the gym? Unfortunately, yes, I am. Even though you guys know my method, I feel like shirts are a nerf. If we can go anywhere without a shirt, that's a plus. But so you guys know we have been on our 4:30 grind. So before I went to sleep, I actually got a call from my auntie. She was basically talking about how my little cousin, my nephew, wanted to get into the gym. And she was asking for some advice. So, you know, I gave him some advice about going to the gym, you know, just the little tips and tricks of just getting started. And when I hung up the phone, I kind of sat there and I thought for myself for a second, like, damn, it's so weird to have a conversation with somebody because my clients are already somewhat fundamentally sound when it comes to the gym. But talking to somebody who's never been in the gym at all, period, like a clean slate of fitness in general, doesn't play sport, it's just a clean slate in general. And I was really sitting there thinking about, what about myself? What if I had to restart? What if I had to go back to, and I'm not saying this is him, we're talking about me. What if I was 24 years old, no bitches, no body, no understanding, no mindset, no gym, no anything? What if I had to just restart? Skinny, lost, and unwoken version of me. So I sat there and I really thought, and before I went to the gym, I kind of just came up with an answer, and I wanted to make this video right now. Knowing how I am and how I've always gotten things done, I could use some deductive reasoning to determine what I would do. And what I would do personally was I would lock myself in a fucking cage, and I would make a 360-degree turn and just lock the fuck in completely with no excuses. I would take massive action. The same way I'm doing with my content right now, I would take massive action. And for you guys saying that, oh, that goes against your program, oh, that goes against what you preach, the things that you say, you always just say to ease your way into things, and you don't want to burn yourself out, you know, it's just better to win day by day, like you said, right? Let me explain myself. When I get on a conference call and I talk to people and I ask you about what your goals and I ask you what you want to achieve, from there, we are able to determine if you could implement the 80-20% that my program teaches. From there is when we can determine if that is even plausible for your goals or not. For most people, it is, because most people want to take the easy route. Most people don't really want to affect their precious daily lives, their daily schedule too much. They just want to go to the gym. You know, their goals are pretty realistic. You know, the phenotypes, which is the person that they model themselves after, the person that they want to be, it's very realistic. It's not too unattainable. Most people just want to take the safest and easiest route possible, and they set goals that aren't too high. But for some people like me, when it comes to certain individuals who have standards that are unrealistic, who have goals that are set so high that it's almost intangible, then we cannot apply the 80-20% rule. Then we really have to go and deep dive and break down a system to make the impossible possible, to make the unrealistic now tangible, now semi-achievable, with a lot of work and a lot of showing up and a lot of luck. We can make things that seem very difficult, we could break it down and we can make it simple by attacking it daily and winning the daily tiny battles every single day with no excuses. If I was still a dweeb, if I was still that 24-year-old version of me with nothing that I have now, I'm pretty sure I would still want the same body type. I'm pretty sure I would want to look like the version of me even a little better, right? I would set the same type of body standard goals. And if it's anything like I do right now that I have mentally inside me, then it's going to be a very, very difficult body type to achieve. It's going to be a body type that's under 10%, but also very strong. A body type with abs, but also a built upper body, right? A body type with high energy levels, but at extremely low body fat percentage. I want to be almost 200 pounds, not victim weight, but at the same time have no face fat. The goals that I have for my body aesthetically are extremely difficult, extremely unrealistic. You have to be very relentless, very semi-perfect to achieve a body type like this. You cannot fail a single day. But I continue to question, would I even be capable of doing this if I had nothing? If I never really had that lick of success, if I never really had those mental struggles and those mental battles, would I still want to achieve this type of body? Would I still lock myself up in a cage and do what needs to be done? The answer is yes. Look how I'm handling myself right now with finances. Look how I'm handling myself right now with my business. I'm locked up in the cage. I have not seen the sun. I am no longer 10. I am white and I am like brown. But I have not seen the sun in a very long time. I have not been outside in a very long time. Look at the old me. Look how fast and dramatic I made a change. Look how much I committed myself before I even had any taste of victory, before I even had any taste of success or gains or anything. I was just a skinny loser. And I still applied myself to the max of my capabilities. So I can't sit here and say that 80-20% would do for me. It probably would. And it does well for a lot of people. But at the same time, me, knowing me and the type of mindset that I have, I would have to apply myself to the fullest degree. So with the knowledge that I have now, I understand that it is 100% capable to have and achieve your body goals without guidance, because I did it already. It is 100% possible to do anything by yourself, right? You can be self-made, but you are going to have so many trials and tribulations. You are going to face so many problems, so many complications. You're going to bump your head so many times, and you are going to waste so much time, right? So the first thing I would do is I would hire a coach. I would hire a coach, maybe not even a personal coach to tell me what to do, but an online one would be okay, because then he could give me a guidance and a workout sheet and explain how to do the workouts. So that way I'm not wasting any time at the gym. That way when I show up, I have a plan and I just execute. I don't have to think so much. I just execute on what has already been planned out and guided for me. Can I do it by myself? Absolutely. Did I already do it by myself? Yes, I already did it by myself, right? But instead of wasting time like I did to get the body that I have right now, when I could have had this body 4 or 5 years ago, I could have just learned from somebody else's experiences. One, with my mindset, I understand that I want things fast and I want things efficiently. So it would be smart to hire a trainer. Two, because I invested money, because I invested some real form of equity into this thing, now I'm going to feel obligated. Now I'm going to feel like the smartest thing to do, since I spent money on this and I sacrificed something that's very literal, which is time. Time equals money, right? So I sacrificed my time and I invested into this. Now I have to do it. That's two, right? Three, now I have somebody holding me accountable. And when somebody's holding you accountable, that means that you have to do it as well. So you have 3 reasons that are forcing you to do something. He is going to do those checkups on you daily, weekly, monthly, whenever the time is set up to check up on you. He will check up on you and he will be able to tell if you did the work or if you didn't do the work. And you're going to have to answer somebody other than you. And you're going to feel awkward. You're going to feel ashamed because you said you were going to do something. And not only did you prove it to yourself that you didn't do it, but now you can't lie and crevice behind the lies that you tell yourself that, oh, it's okay, we could just go tomorrow. Now you have to have a full explanation to somebody else as to why you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Now you're a fraud. Now you're a liar. Now you're not a man of your word, right? So now you're going to feel like I have to do it. I don't have an option, but I have to show up and I have to do what I have to do because I said I was going to do it. And that's one of the best positions that you could possibly be in. But let's just say that money's tight, right? Let's just say that we're in a situation to where we don't have the funds. We have to do this on our own. So the first thing I would do, if I had no trainer, I had no money, all I had was a gym and myself. I'm gonna give you guys a guideline of exactly what I would do because I was thinking about this all day long, right? The first thing I would do is I would develop a phenotype. A phenotype is a person. I would find a person that sort of resembles me, right? Somebody who already has the body that I want, the finances that I want, the lifestyle that I want, the girl that I want, the look that I'm going for, who kind of sort of resembles me already. We all have somebody, and if you don't have somebody, I recommend finding somebody who kind of resembles you, body type, face, all of that. And then I would see what he has, and I would try and absorb it from my character and become that person. So that's the first thing I would do. I would get a phenotype. I would get a phenotype and I would realize, okay, I don't look good very bulky. This guy kind of looks like me. He's very bulky. I don't really like the way it looks. I like the aesthetic version of me, right? I found a few phenotypes. I like the aesthetic version of me. I'm going to go for this one. What does this guy do? Boom. I'm going to start doing research. If I don't have a personal trainer, I have to do this. I have to do the self-research, right? Boom. I'll start doing research. I would devise a plan before I go into action and attack, right? Now that I have this semi-decent plan, the first step of action, right? The number one step of action, that was not action. That's laying on your phone. That's lazy. That's something. The first step of action that I would do is I would just put on my shoes. Put on your shoes. What do you mean by that? Literally, I would put on my shoes. This is the most important step. I would put on my shoes, right? Because I don't want to go. I don't want to do this deep down inside. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work out. I don't want to hurt myself on purpose. I've never done this before. I'm clueless to this. I have this plan, and I told my parents, and I told my friends, and it sounds good. And this guy, he looks like me, and he gets the women that I want. I have everything ready, but I don't have my shoes on. So therefore, I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Therefore, I'm going to go on my phone. Therefore, I'm going to ponder the thought of going. The first thing that I need to do is put my fucking shoes on. Once I have my shoes on, okay, now I want to walk. Now I want to walk to the car, right? So I have my shoes on. Now I walk to the car. I'm already at the car. I might as well go inside the car. I'm already in the car. I might as well start the car. I'm already driving. I might as well go and I might as well just go to the gym instead of going somewhere to eat like I kind of wanted to. Oh, I'm already at the gym. I'm already sitting with the guy. He's already forcing me to set up a membership because these guys are so good at persuading you to get a membership. He already gave me a discount. I might as well use the rest of my funds to go to the gym because now I have a month to re-up on it, right? I already spent all this money. I might as well just go work out. You know, I've been walking around for a good 5 minutes. I'm already here. I might as well just work out because I put my shoes on. The first step is putting your shoes on. It's as simple as that. It's as dumb as that. Put your shoes on. That would be my first step. And when I was on the phone with my auntie, I told her relatively the same thing. When the most important thing that you need to do is put your shoes on. The most important thing that you need to do is start. You need to force yourself to prepare yourself into doing something that you don't want to do. Nobody wants to do this, but once you force yourself to do it, now you have to do it. Once you sign up for a track meet and you're doing the practices and you don't want to, but once it's time and you're on the blocks, it's like, fuck it, I'm here. I need to do this now. I don't want to get last. I need to do this now. I need to try. Fuck it. Let's do it. Fuck it. I'm already here. That's the most important part. And then I went on and I continued to tell her that now that you already went to the gym, you already completed what you wanted to do. All right, let's keep going. What else can we do? What else can we conquer? What else can we complete on our checklist? What else can I force myself to complete, right? Now I'm gonna force myself to empty out the fridge and put shit that I don't really want to eat, but it's healthy and I know it's going to give me change fast. Okay, boom. Now my fridge is good. Now my nutrition is good. Now my training is good. Now I know how to get to the gym. I just put on my shoes, right? So I told her, boom, gym, boom, nutrition. Now this is going to dramatically change the body. What's next? Okay, we like the gym, but let's continue to go to the gym at different times until we find the environment that we like to be in. The mornings suck, the nighttime's too busy. Let's go, if we have time to do things like this. Sometimes you don't have a choice. But if we have a choice, now I'm going to find a different time. All right, now I like going at this time. Now I have a friend that goes there. Now I'm starting to meet people. Now the OG's giving me game. There's a girl I have a crush on. Now I want to go to the gym. I'm not really so worried about putting my shoes on so much because I want to go. I'm not so worried about eating the food now because it's okay, right? I got a girl there that I need to impress. I got friends there that I'm trying to show out for. Now I like my environment a little more. So again, we're just slowly compounding the amount of times that we need to force ourselves into a habit that we like. by making it appealing, by making it easy, by making it attractive. And as we get in the groove of things, we start to learn more and more about our bodies, right? If I need fast weight loss fast, I'll go run. I'll go do whatever it takes at this point. This is a clean slate. I'm willing to get there no matter what. So if I need to go run, I'll go run. If I need to go to the gym 7 days a week, I'll go to the gym 7 days a week. I want this shit. I'm locked in a box and I can't wait to get out. And I would stand firm in my delusional faith. I've always had delusions. So what's gonna make me think like I don't have it right now? Or what's gonna make me think if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have any delusion? I always had delusion, right? That was one of my biggest, best traits that I ever had. So I would stick with my delusional faith of if I just keep coming every single day, eventually I will have the body that I have. I believe this. And I wasn't called here for no reason. I've always trusted myself to get myself out of sticky situations. So why wouldn't I trust myself right now? I trust myself. I trust that I can do this. I trust that I can show up when I say I need to show up to get things done. So the phenotype and the putting your shoes on, this is all the part of the first starting process. This is the first steps I would take. The second step I would take is accepting the boringness and just approaching things emotionlessly. Let me explain what I talk about. I understand the fact that things get boring. I understand the fact that, you know, it gets hard, but you still have to show up and do what needs to be done despite how you're feeling. I played sports, I played football. Nobody ever wants to show up to football practice because that shit fucking sucks. It smells, the pads, it's hot outside, you're doing a lot of cardio, you just finished the gym, you're doing this every day, you're hitting other people, your body is sore, guys are bigger than you, there's a guy you're afraid. There's just a lot going on, right? And you never want to show up the next day, but you do it anyways. You put your feelings to the side and you just drag yourself through the motions, right? And if you're great, you'll understand that over time that's not healthy for you. But for some people, right, if I'm just starting, I'm going to drag myself through the boring moments, right? I'm here to do what needs to get done. And I'm still a little confused on what's going on. So I'm just going to continue to push through, continue to drive through, continue to slowly understand more and more and push myself in this machine and put myself in this machine. Even though I don't really understand what's going on, I'm still going to show up despite how I feel, despite what I think. I'm still going to come and shut my emotions off and do what needs to be done as a man. Turn my emotions off. If I'm sick, I'm still there. If I'm tired, I'm still there. If I'm sad, I'm still there. Because I understand the fact that my emotions are only going to further make this problem even more difficult to see through. This problem that I have, right, is not going to help if I'm sad and I stay home. Because I'm just going to be sad at home. If I'm tired and I stay home. Because I'm just going to be tired at home. If I'm sick and I stay home. Because now I'm just going to be sick at home. At least, you know the saying that girls say, at least let me cry in a Bentley. At least let me fucking be sick with a six pack. At least let me be sick at the gym trying to fix myself in the sauna. Because at least when I go home, yes, I still might be sick. I might even be slightly more sick. Even though every time I go to the gym, when I'm sick, I feel better. I'll teach you guys about the trick of that. But even though I'm sick and I go and I'm at the gym and I'm still sick and I feel it even a little more, at least I'll have an arm pump. At least I'll go home knowing that I'm going to look better, right? If I'm gonna cry, let me cry in a fucking Bentley. I would also use my logic, right? Since we're still in the part 2 of what I would do, we're still in the phase 2 of just pushing and driving yourself through the unknown. I would use logic. Of course, I have my delusional faith of the version of me that I know I'm going to look like if I keep showing up. But I would also use my logical side to say, hey, this version of me is no longer just a myth. It's no longer just a pretend version of you. This version of you, the way you're going, the way you're progressing, this version of you is actually going to happen. If you continue to do what you're doing, this is scientifically actually inevitably going to happen. Even if you don't want it to happen, if you keep showing up and doing what you're going to do, you're genuinely going to have that phenotype. You're genuinely going to look like that version of you if you just keep going. And that is going to motivate me even more because I know that I'm actually going to obtain my goals. That's like saying you're going to have $100 million in half a year if you just do this one thing every day. If you just go outside, right, you kick rocks for an hour a day. For some reason, $500 million will get shipped out to you. But you have to go outside and you have to kick rocks every single day. And you're looking around like, are you for real? Like, it's actually going to happen. I'm actually going to have $500 million if I just keep doing this one thing every day. And it's the same thing when you use your logical brain to help understand the fact that if I show up to the gym every day and I keep doing this thing, then I will look like that. And once you accept that fact, you're going to go harder. I'm going to kick rocks with a smile on my face every single day. Like, it's the best thing ever. I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna fucking kick little rocks around all day. I'm gonna play soccer with that shit. I'm gonna juggle it around on my feet. I'm gonna do backflip and kick it in goals. Like, I'm going to do it so ecstatically, so much faster, with so much enthusiasm, right? That I am now excited for it. And once I'm excited for it, I'm starting to go into phase 3, right? But before we go into phase 3, we're now starting to build a routine, right? Before we go into phase 3, we already have this little gym session, this little thing we got going on, to where I have a pre-workout that I kind of like now. You know, it's getting me up, it's getting me excited. Ooh, I'm here, I'm energetic, I'm ready. Have my favorite playlist starting to be developed. I'm starting to order certain clothes, and I'm starting to get in a rhythm. And with this, that is when we kick it into phase 3. Phase 3 is when you can actually bring some emotion. Phase 3 is when the drive comes in. I like to call phase 3 the kill phase, because once I have further already established this, right? Once I'm already in momentum, once I'm already going, once I already see some results coming in, this is when I can go into the phase of where I love the game. This is where I can go into the phase of where I start to love the game and my emotion starts to kick in. And then this is when it's over. Once I really love this shit, this is when I can fully invest into the game. Because I have some type of emotion towards this craft, towards this thing that I have going on for myself, right? This is where I start flexing on Instagram, right? The pictures in the mirror. This is where I start buying a lot more clothes that I feel like I like. You know, they fit right. The clothes are starting to fit right as well. And I have such a more positive outlook to something that I used to dread, to something that was holding me back in life. Now that I'm starting to understand that relationship, I'm no longer afraid of it, and I'm facing it up front, and I'm saying, why was I let you hold me back for so long? It turns out that I love this. I have a genuine desire and passion for this, right? And now that we're in phase 3 already, I would continue to find certain phenotypes. I would continue to feed my starvation of love for this shit, right? I would start even ramping up the workouts. I would start understanding that, okay, my phenotype has a big back. I'm gonna start doing backs more often, right? Or my phenotype has crazy arms, so I'm gonna start hitting arms every single day. And I don't think you guys understand, once you have like this type of respect and emotion towards not only the gym, not only whatever endeavor you're trying to go into, not only emotion towards the game, but you start to have like this type of respect and love and emotion for yourself as well. That meaning that you start to respect yourself for the fact that you're actually trying, and because you do that, your confidence starts to go up, right? The fitness is starting to equate to your confidence. I'm no longer just going to the gym for change. I'm going to the gym for myself now, for my mental clarity, for the fact that I'm doing what I said I'm gonna do, and my confidence is higher, and I feel better about myself, and I'm actually for once seeing something through, and I'm starting to see my body develop and level up, right? I'm finally taking action. Once you start taking action, you're gonna feel like this chip, this weight just fall off your shoulder, and every night that you go to sleep just fucking fine, because you're finally not thinking about something, you're finally going after it. You're finally taking action towards the thing that you want to do. Like that guilt, that feeling of you should be doing something, that shit just vanishes in thin air. As you start to do this more and more and more and more, you realize that you should have been this person all along. All that guilt just drops out, and you finally feel okay and proud of yourself. Not only do you feel okay and proud of yourself, but you also physically feel better. Your brain starts to work better, your skin starts to look better, your body starts to look better, and it's all positive. Everything that's happening is positive. The reason that I like to call this last method the kill method, right, is because once you get to a certain point, once you get to a certain phase, you start to realize that I'm no longer here to just lollygag, right? I'm no longer a survivor of life. I'm not okay with that. I want to kill. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to kill. I want to dominate. It's because you got that taste of victory. You have that taste of, I'm finally starting to conquer. And it's just like, what more can I do? What more am I capable of? What more am I able to dominate in? And that's why I call this phase the kill phase, because once you get into the kill phase, you start realizing that it was way more than the gym. It was never about the gym, actually. And you get to a phase where you start to realize how capable you fully are of certain things. You start to build the relationship, not only your body, but also with your mind. Because your mind gets you there, but as soon as you get up to the gym, your mind shuts off and it tells you to go do other shit, like go to the bathroom or waste time on your phone. That's when your body kicks in. Then your body gets tired. And then your blood's already pumping, so now your mind kicks in again. And your mind tells you to keep going, keep going, keep going. And then your mind shuts off and your body kicks in again when it's tired. And it's just they feed off of each other. And you realize how unstoppable you really are. The food that once tastes bland and gross now tastes a lot sweeter. Now when you look at it, you think, ooh, I'm about to look shredded. I'm about to have a crazy six-pack. You know, yes, it might be a little bland, but now it's starting to taste sweet. It's starting to taste like fucking victory. It's starting to taste like discipline is starting to pay off. That's what it's starting to taste like. So give me that shit. Actually, hold the honey, hold the sauce. I want this shit plain. I want to feel the progress. I want to feel the success. I want to feel the sacrifice. And I know I sound crazy when I'm saying this to an average person, but once you get to that point in your life to where you're starting to conquer average, you will understand the type of craving you have to win. And it starts in the gym. It starts by putting your shoes on, right? You could sit there and you could memorize all the benefits of why you should work out and it's good for you and this and ooh, working out's gonna do this to me. But that really, you just don't give a fuck. You just spent 2 to 3 hours doing all this research about fitness when you could have already went to the gym and felt the benefits, right? So as time starts to progress, you literally start to feel the benefits. I never looked up any of the benefits of going to the gym. Over time, I just started to realize and nod my head and understand when I seen research pop up explaining how I felt already. It's like, oh, I already feel that way. Oh, I already have high energy. Oh, I've never really had too much acne. I have one right here right now, but I never really had too much acne. You know, I do act that way. You know, I do feel that way. I do think that way about other people. I am better at problem solving compared to other people, right? So you just start to understand the benefits because I feel them through experience rather than just wasting your time and reading books and learning. There's nothing wrong with reading books, but just instead of wasting your time, you actually sprung into action. And that's, again, the most important part. Like I told my cousin, you could sit here and I could devise this whole plan for you and I could tell you what to do, but I'm not even going to do that. I want you to just show up to the gym. Prove to me that you want this. Just show up. Just go for a little bit. Prove to me and prove to yourself that you're actually going to take this serious, and then we can go on from there. But other than that, everything else that you're just saying, you say you want this, you say you know this, you say you're ready, that's all just cope. Stop talking and put in more action. That's the most important part. Action. And that's what I would do. With compound interest, you'll start to enjoy the difficulty of it. You'll start to love the game, and you'll start to love the puzzle and the difficulty, and you'll start to love the understanding that you'll gain from showing up and just doing what you need to do every day consistently. Now, I'm not telling you to do what I do. I'm not telling you to do what I would do. That's not what I'm saying at all. It is only for certain individuals who really just crave certain things, who would go out and do these things. But I would never recommend this. I would never recommend this to somebody unless you asked for it, unless you were willing to make those types of sacrifices. Other than that, you could do the 80-20% just fine. Live a great life, right? You don't have to sacrifice and do so much and be so intense towards it. But for me and certain individuals, we need that. We crave that, right? But my program is not meant for that. It is not built for that. My program is built off what I do right now. I show up to the gym and I work out for my mental, but I also love to enjoy my life. But if I was going to restart and I was going to start again, I would understand that the quickest way to become a professional at something is repetitions. How many repetitions can I make? How fast can I lock in? How fast can I speed run my way to victory? And no, I'm not talking about a quick fix. I'm talking about how much harder can I work to get me in the position to win? How much harder can I work to skip the line? It's not how can I cheat my way to skip the line? No, it's how much harder do I have to go to skip the line and get what I feel like I deserve? That's my type of mindset. That's my type of thinking. I'm not cheating for a way out. I'm looking for a way in. And not everybody wants to do that. And that is perfectly okay. I don't want everybody to be like that. I want you guys to be able to enjoy your life and not take things so seriously, right? Some of you guys are very busy. You guys have very serious schedules and you're already dedicated to your craft. And you have other things going on. Cool. That's perfect. Let me teach you how we can work around that and still get everything that you ever wanted, without living to a box lifestyle that I said I would do, without living to certain restrictions and being told what to do. Because there's so many ways to victory. There's not one guaranteed way to make money. There's people with money who are fat. There's people with money who are skinny. There's people with money who are dumb. There's people with money who are smart. There's a million ways to get $1 million. That's the craziest part. So there's a million ways to get a body. There's a million ways to adapt and create a schedule for your life. But the topic of the video is what would I would do? What would Andrew do? And that's what I would do. That's how I would drastically change my life in the fastest way possible. Correctly. But it's not for everybody. That type of living, that type of mindset is for the fucking killers. It's for the people who understand that time is so precious, right? So that's why I mentioned getting a trainer in the beginning. That's why I talked about stop wasting time and get a trainer. Because yes, would I take massive action to figure it out myself? But if I had a trainer who was able to kind of help me navigate a way to do the 80-20% while also giving me his tips and tricks and hacks as to ways that I should do something, then that would have been the smartest move. That is still my original first move. Hire a trainer. Not because I can't do it, but because it would be nice to not have to second guess the things that I'm doing, and I could just have a straight plan to success rather than a roller coaster. Because a roller coaster is great and all, you're going to learn a lot, but you don't always need to be a fucking teacher in every single thing that you learn, every single thing that you wanted to do. Sometimes it's nice to just get the goal that you wanted and get the fuck out. And that's what my program is here for. That's what my program is trying to teach you, and it's going to help you develop and learn from my mistakes that I made by doing the plan if I didn't have a trainer. By doing that locked in fully for years plan. But I could have skipped so many years. I could have had the body that I wanted right now 4 or 5 years ago if I just would have done things right. But I'm hard-headed and I wanted to learn a separate way when I could have just done things right in the first place, right? So that's why I developed my program, and that's why I'm spending so much time on this. This is why I care about this so much, because it can genuinely change lives and not change your life at all at the same fucking time, right? You can learn how to stay afloat as a killer while also living your life. So I need to go to the gym because maybe I'm coping with this video. With that being said, I completely forgot I have to go to the gym right now. Fuck. With that being said, I'm going to put my work in. I have a link in the description. That is something you are interested in. If you're tired of wasting time and you want to change your life right now, click the link. We can see if you qualify and we can set up a consultation call. Follow my socials. It is right here. It is the same socials for all of my socials. This username is the same for everything, right? So follow that, like, comment, and subscribe. So before your guy goes and kills himself, I'm out, guys. Peace.